if you see an acceleration of money flowing into crypto, those more established projects like Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to benefit because, again, those are the ones that people get into first. But if there is not an acceleration of money flowing into crypto in the near future, then your smaller coins are going to do better. You cannot look at these things purely from tech perspective because I can give you numerous examples throughout history that best technology do not win in the end. And in the end, what gets adopted is what gets adopted, period. You know, it's whoever gets the traction wins. It's not whoever has the superior technology wins.
I really like what you said, that it's not the best technology that always wins. Looking at all of the L1 blockchains, to the end user, if you look at it, it's a button that they take. Ethereum or Polygon or Ethereum or in a MetaMask wallet, it's something that it really doesn't become that pronounced to a lot of people who are just end users. And I really believe that it's so early. And I like what you said about taking the time and spending the time to actually research and learn more about it, and taking a different route as compared to what people are saying, that just go to Bitcoin or Ethereum, something that's safer. But you mentioned something very interesting, to spend a lot of time and look for the ones that still have potential. I want to ask this though, that there's a larger sense that Ethereum has been the more dominant one. There are a lot of apps that have been built around it. And this entire movement towards NFTs and DeFi has brought a lot of people to come into that space. Would that be somehow a moat also around adoption, that it having more users creates a larger network effect also, that or from a second perspective, because there's so much blockchains out there and we're so early, everyone will grow, given that they could expand into different niches over the next few years as well?
Number one, as an investor, right, I care about my asset return, right? Who wins, who has bigger market share at the end of the day, eventually just a factor to account for in your calculations in terms of who will give you the better asset return. Or better reward, like a risk-adjusted reward. Ethereum is a $400 million asset, right? Yep. The other alternative layer ones, I think they're maybe in the 20 to 30 billion category, right? In terms of market cap. You just like a numerically, it's just so much easier. You know, to get a higher percentage return. The same level of funding flow into smaller, growth areas. You obviously you see a higher percentage growth. I'm not saying all the small caps gonna win. Obviously, it's not true. You think about a very established project like Ethereum or Bitcoin. There is so many institutional money already in it already, and there are institutional products built on top of ETFs or investment funds specifically devoted to those. Where's your edge? Where's your competitive advantage as a retail, right? So I would say if you go into Ethereum or Bitcoin, you will get a market return. You're not going to beat the market. That will be hugely conditional on how much new money is flowing into crypto. Because start at the beginning of 2021, crypto was like an $800 billion market cap. Right now we are at 2.5 trillion, 2.3, something like that. Okay, so it grew like a 200% in a year. So you see, obviously there are a lot of capital flowing into crypto, more institutions coming in and more retails coming in, but it takes more money to get the market up a certain percentage now compared to at the beginning of 2021. It takes a whole lot more, right? So for the market to go up the same percentage, you have to have even more money flowing into, you have to have a acceleration of money flowing into crypto. So so I would say if you see an acceleration of money flowing into crypto, those more established projects like Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to benefit, because again, those are the ones that people get into first, right? And if you know nothing, those are the ones, those are the buttons you click, right? But if there is not a acceleration of money flowing into crypto in the near future, then your smaller coins are going to do better, because what they benefit from is from what people call the, crypto rotation. Is okay, you made some money from Ethereum, right? You think about yourself. You bought your Bitcoin, you bought your Ethereum, you made some money from it, and you kind of got more familiar with the space. You start thinking about, what else can I invest in? And you start looking into these, newer projects, smaller projects, and you start investing in those. Then that's usually what everybody does. People make some money from these bigger projects, and then they put their wins, they put their capital into those smaller projects, and the smaller projects the price started growing, right? So if you do not have an acceleration of new funds flowing into crypto, I think that rotation trade is going to do better, because they're smaller market cap, X amount of funding is going to make them go up percentage with more compared to bigger projects, right? And then if there's no market-wide pump, if the total market, meaning these large caps, do not go up because there's no acceleration of funding. I'm not saying there's zero funding. If there's zero funding going to crypto, we're going to see a crash, right? So it's just, if there's no acceleration of funding going into crypto, then rotation trade is going to do better, because because the pump on your large cap is going to be quite limited if there's no acceleration of new money coming in. And second thing is, which I wrote about, actually last week, about Ethereum, why I'm short-term bearish.
Oh, that was a good one.
I know a lot of Ethereum people are trying to, argue with me, and they're like, oh, Ethereum, it's like a layer 2, which is these like execution layer scaling solutions going to be built on Ethereum and going to increase the capacity of Ethereum so much bigger. And they're going to support growth of Ethereum. Oh, okay, back up a little bit. Ethereum is originally built not as a blockchain that was built to scale, right? So it has a TPS, what is that, transaction per second, of about 15 transactions per second, which is
slow,
tiny. Visa and MasterCard maybe have like a 50,000 transactions per second, or 50 to 100,000 transactions per second. Because it's not built to scale, but there is a lot of demand because of NFTs and DeFi. You see the network fees, user fees has gone up a lot last year on Ethereum. So that really discouraged people from using the chain, right? So if you look at active users on Ethereum, it's gone down since May. And right now it's not even as high as the peak in 2017. I know I myself personally, I just avoided at hot coal. I do, because there are so many things that I can use, so many other chains I can use now. I just try to avoid Ethereum as much as possible, right? Because you have to pay these high fees for what reason? People are saying, okay, so let's build layer 2s. Basically, we process transactions on these, additional layers of blockchains, And then we batch these transactions together, and we send them to Ethereum base chain to verify that these transactions are valid, and then we record them on Ethereum blocks. So in this way, you can process transaction a lot faster on layer 2s and much cheaper, right? Why I think this is not bullish for Ethereum? Maybe in the long term. In the long term, okay, it's bullish, but because it will increase the activity usage of Ethereum. But you think about in the short term, what happens is you have on the Ethereum main chain, the activity is very slow, very clogged, so people don't want to use the main chain. So people go to use these layer 2s, right? But layer 2s, they can bunch like a 50K to 80K transactions in one bundle and send to Ethereum main chain in one, to process in one block. Okay, so instead of processing these 60K to 80K transactions, on the main chain, you now bunch them together and process it once. Yes, it reduced reduced the cost a whole lot more for users, but it reduced the activity on Ethereum main chain as well, because you're replacing, processing all these transactions, end user transactions one by one on the main chain, with batch so many of them together and process it in all at once, roughly speaking. So it's going to reduce the block space that you need on the Ethereum main chain. Now you can say, oh, once layer 2 starts, it will unleash a wave of usage, and the usage is going to grow so much more, and then the proof verification needs on the Ethereum main chain is going to grow and increase the usage of the Ethereum main chain. But that's going to take time. It's not going to happen in day one. And how long is that going to take? Nobody knows, right? So you look at the transaction per second. The highest transaction per second right now on alternative layer 1s is Solana, which is about 1,000. Yep. It's hard to imagine a scenario that in 2022, the monetary condition will be even looser than 2021. So if it's not even looser, how are you going to see acceleration of new money? I think what we may see for 2022 is you will have streams of new money coming in, yes, but not at the speed or not at the force that will be an acceleration of inflow that will, pump up the whole market.